This pen is the ultimate fine liner, and you will never have to use another fine liner after watching this video. Welcome back to MCJ's Art Studio. I got another good video for you. This is going to be something that you can and won't miss, because this is going to help you further along in your own creative journey. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and like the content. And don't forget to share this with somebody else, because we all know someone who's an artist and can use this information. All right? If you want to join this particular platform and learn everything about my art, me being a contemporary artist, and all other things involved with it, then this is the place to be. Sit back, get something to drink, and let's get started. This video is going to be an outline, like a show and tell on why the Japanese brush pen has become that girl, the one in my life. All right, we are BFFs. Now, we weren't always friends, but during the video, I will tell you how I had to learn to use the pen. And you already know that I illustrate, right? I illustrate, I sketch. If you're new to the channel, here's an example of what I create, right? These are illustrations. I like bold colors. And for me, using something like the Japanese brush pen is a great way to use them for my outlines. Those are the dark lines to really create contrast in an illustration. I also use very small color blockings. It's not really intended for that. I would suggest that you use markers for that. But here's like a small explanation about the pen. The Japanese brush pen, it markets maybe for like 9, 10 euros or dollars. It has two compartments. One that is refillable. It is filled with watercolor ink. The other one is a transparent one where you can push the ink into it by slightly pressing on the black part, the black compartment. Now the brush tip is made of nylon fibers, which makes it very flexible for you to use it on any type of paper that you're working on. It doesn't smudge, it dries very fast, and it's also efficient in its use. You don't have to use a lot of ink to get the result that you want. Now, what I'm demonstrating here are not just some squiggly lines. These are basically ways of how I use the brush pen in my illustrations. And the reason why I love this so much is that I can use one pen and just one particular motion to create different types of lines, and that is pressure. Adding pressure, thicker lines, reducing the pressure, finer lines. And because the fibers are working cohesively with each other and are so flexible, look how that glides. Any squiggly line that I'm creating, whether it's vertically or horizontally, it goes very easily. And all that because of that tip. Now, when you buy it, the tip is transparent, and the more ink you push into it, then it becomes black. You don't have to clean it up. Just put the cap on it. You store it in a cool place. Don't put it somewhere in the sunlight, because, baby, you're asking for it. But this is something that is so worth your buck. I know for a lot of people say $9, $10, 9 euros, 10 euros. Yes, because it is just so economic and efficient in its use. Now, what was I using before I came to this? Because the Japanese brush pen is the last stop when it comes to fine liners. Now, mind you, you can use anything as a fine liner. You can use markers as a fine liner. Here are some Copic markers that I have, 2 different types of brushes. One has the oval shape, the other one has the cylinder shape. They both come with a brush tip and a square tip. Now, the purpose of the square tip is that you can make straighter, thicker lines. The brush tip is to have more flexibility in the way that you create your illustrations or even outlines for your illustration sketches, comics, whatever it is that you draw. Now here you can see Here you can see how you have to use it, which side has the brush tip, so that you don't confuse yourself when you need to use it. I mean, listen, Copic marker is known, Copic markers and the Copic brand is known to have a range of products that are just high quality. They have a high range of colors. Japanese brush pen doesn't have that. It doesn't have a really high range of colors. Copic markers is also known to have a really great quality when it comes to the ink. It is also refillable. The tips are even replaceable, so you can take them out and replace them with other tips. So they have thought of everything, which also makes sense for it to be the price point that it has. And just as the Japanese brush pen, the flexibility is to be found in horizontal, vertical lines, thickness, thinness. However, it's not the same. You already see me like pointing, no, it's not the same. The tip is just less flexible because it's one solid tip in comparison to the Japanese brush pen. All the fibers work cohesively. If you spread them, you add pressure. That will not be the same with the Copic pen. As a matter of fact, I would not recommend that you put a lot of pressure on the Copic pen, because then you'll have to change the tip plenty of times. It's not made for that. It's made for delicate brush work. Basically, that's what you use it for. Here's the other marker. Another great thing about it is that they have such a huge range of colors. So if you're someone who likes to use black as an outline color, but you want to experiment in having different types of black, yeah, then I definitely can tell you that Copic marker is the one that you can use, or any other type of markers. And I will show you another type of marker. Now, this particular marker is very, very sturdy. It's just a point, but not as pointy as the next one that I'm going to show you, which is also from the Copic line. It still creates flexibility. I can create texture with it. Thick marks, thin marks. However, do I want to have something that's really wide? I have to use the square tip. Now, this is the Copic marker fine liner. I'm saying it wrong. It's a Copic fine liner. It's not a marker. It's a fine liner designed to create outlines. There's a very sturdy, pointy tip, and that is all that you're going to get out of it. Okay? So you might be thinking, well, if you were looking for a fine liner, Marilva, why didn't you stop here? Because Copic markers are markers, they're not fine liners. Yes, I know, and there's a great observation. However, me not knowing that I needed something that had a lot more flexibility and give, like the Japanese brush pen, I was still kind of stuck on this one and the Copic markers. As you can see, it's really for that, a fine liner. And that is what you need to use it for. Point blank period. Okay? You're not going to get a lot of thick lines out of it. You can create your finer lines. You can play with textures if you want to create them. Here, making my dots. And that's it. I mean, you can have a look at the, at the tip of the brush yourself. Like, look, it's pointy. That's it. And it's sturdy. That's all you're going to get out of it. So I just kept on looking. And the next one that I came across is the Faber-Castell. It's not something that I hear a lot here on YouTube. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm going a little bit too fast. It's the Winsor and Newton. We're going to get to the Faber-Castell. We're going to get there. She is the ops of the Copic markers. She's the ops. Okay? She also has a brush tip. She also has a square tip. If you want to create thicker lines, it's basically the same story as the Copic marker. However, when you work with it, it looks quite the same as the Copic fine liner. This is what you're going to get out of it, people. Nothing more, nothing less. They are a lot cheaper than the Copic markers. I do have to say that they are a lot cheaper. They come in a wide range of colors. They, however, are not refillable. Look, they are the same. You see it here, just the same. They are not refillable. We cannot change the tips. If it's done, it's done. That's it. They do have markers with brush tips that are a little bit more flexible than the one that I'm using right now. But you will still get to the same point as the Copic markers. Do not put too much pressure on that but it's not what they are made for. And that was something that I was looking for. I was looking for something that gave me a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more give. Okay, your girl needs space. She was not giving me space. And here, look, I have to use the square tip even when I have a broader line. Yeah. Oh well. So now we are getting to the Faber-Castell. Yes, now we are here. Now the reason why I'm not putting her slightly above the Copic marker, or actually above the Copic fine liner and below the markers, is because she is very dainty, very mindful, very demure. Here it is, the Faber-Castell fine liner. Listen, she don't play. If you are not able to work with her in a very delicate way, and you have elephant paws, and you just bruise and press on pencils and mediums, she ain't the girl for you. Leave her alone. That tip is like butter. And I don't know, but I'm guessing that they also have like that nylon texture that makes it so spreadable. So you can put a little bit of pressure on it. You have thicker lines, you ease up on the pressure, and you have finer lines. It is just that the tip is so small. In comparison to the Japanese brush tip, this one is really small. They come in a huge range of colors. I am guessing that you have to buy a bigger size of the brush tip if you want to have something that's a little bit bigger. If you have that range of money to do that, I did. I lost a couple, but then again, I never replaced them because I didn't need to. Now this is a beige one. They come in black, they come in red, they come in different colors, like I already said. And I also think they come in a very sturdy, pointy lines, tips, which I will show you with the next fine liner that I have. But don't play with her because she is fun. All right. So if you have elephant paws, leave her alone. Don't touch her. Staedtler, that's the last one, at least the last one in my arsenal. And the reason why I haven't used this one that much is because it didn't really complement my style. And that is not to say that this is a bad brand, because this is a very high quality brand. They come in different tip sizes, like I already showed. The smaller the smaller the notation, the smaller the tip. What it is what you're going to get. All right, they are sturdy. But don't put too much pressure on it because you might push the tip all the way in. Don't do that. But this is what you're going to get. And I just needed to have something that had a little bit more give. Now I'm going to put all of the information about the Japanese brush pen here below in the description box, and you can get it yourself as well. Go get it. This is something that you just need to have in your arsenal if you're an illustrator or you're drawing things, you're sketching. You got to have this in your arsenal. So I'm going to definitely put the information in the description box so that you can get one yourself as well. But here at Staedtler, I mean, this is what she gives. All right. I hope that y'all enjoyed this particular video. Let me know what it is that you liked about it. Share, like the content. I'm going to see you next time. This is that girl, y'all. This is that girl.